Oh, I was struggling to say it, but I think this might be my favorite season overall. Um, okay, so from episode 1 to 8, I was looking forward to every single episode in this. I Anthony Starr. Anthony Starr kills it with that sideways smile. That little sideways smile, the kind of smiling, not really smiling thing that he does. Love it. Um, I right off the bat, I'm telling you straight up, if you have not watched The Boys, I'm gonna try my best to not spoil anything. Right? It is out. It's concluded now. Well, this season is concluded. Obviously, they left some room for another season, which I'm already looking forward to. But I would advise go watch it. You won't be disappointed, especially if you like superhero stuff. This show has always asked the question, what happens if we get to know superheroes in their logical form, right? Uh this is it. This is it. Superheroes are jerks, man. I mean, there's no two ways about it. They're stronger, they're faster. In some cases they may even be smarter. Um and they can use those things to their advantage. Homelander is he's tyrannical. He leads by force. He leads those that are under him by fear. And you see this developing as he slowly just starts to lose himself. He gets reined in at some points, but he doesn't get reined in enough because there's only so many individuals that can control him, and he keeps on removing the individuals that have some leverage over him, right? So from all the way from episode 1, you see him kind of, you see him kind of just slowly slipping more and more and more. He doesn't fully go full into tyranny because they still have some leverage over him. But there's one particular scene where he just calls their bluff. He calls their bluff, and once he calls their bluff, he starts saying things like, well, if you were to do XYZ, I will, I'll take out the infrastructure, I'll take out the army, I'll take out, I'll take out New York if I want to, right? But the traumatizing thing is, with a person like him, he can actually do it. How did they rein him in? Well, they reined him in with the only other individual that you can rein him in with, right? They recruited someone, um, by the name of Soldier Boy, a former. He was what Homelander was. Um, he is what Homelander was in the earlier stages. He's the early form of Homelander, right? Homelander's, I guess, the 2.0 version, right? But this guy is he made me ask the question, well, what if Captain America were alive today? What would Captain America be like? Because he's a Captain America type person, right? Um, and Captain America is kind of exactly he is what I thought Captain America would have been. I mean, he was born in what, the 40s to 50s, so it was that period of time, you know. So obviously he comes with some ideas and thoughts into this modern world and brings those ideas and thoughts with him. Those didn't change. I mean, he didn't have a counseling session where he sits down and starts to think about life and his decisions. No, he brings all those ideas from way back when into modern day, and I love how they portrayed it, where he's still very bigoted, he's still very prejudiced, right? And I love the fact that those personality quirks didn't change about him. um Mother's Milk is trying to live a normal life, although he can't get away from being who he is. He's driven to want to take down Soups, especially when he meets the individual that is responsible for his trauma, right? I love the way that they handle Mother's Milk as well. Frenchie and Kiko, they have their relationship. I think I like the dynamic between the two of them. Although there were some scenes that were questionable, especially like in episode 5 or 6 where they did a little dance number. It was strange. All right, A Train is still a jerk. Black Noir. That's all I'm gonna say. Dang, bro. Dang. He's living that Disney life, eh? Um, and then of course Huey, Butcher, Starlight, all great, all absolutely great. If you have not watched The Boys, I'm trying my best to just not go into too much detail. I'm trying my best to just stay vague, although I really want to talk about what it is transpired. From episode 1 to episode 8, you will be on the tip of your toes just watching what transpires. They introduce some new superheroes. They introduce some some real political satire, I would say. I think political satire is the best way to put it. This is a reflection of the current political environment that we live in, and they play that to its logical conclusion, and they play that up very nicely. Um, I think Homelander's reflection in episode 3 and 4, in which he kind of just gets fed up at one point, right? He gets fed up, says what he has to say, and he's reinforced in what he has to say, especially in episode 8, where he does these actions and says these things and is expecting a certain kind of reaction, but it never comes. In fact, people keep on cheering, and of course, that's it's a parody of one particular individual who will say the most outlandish things and will say XYZ, and people will just keep on cheering, right? I love this season. This is my favorite season. I'm definitely gonna go watch this again. And if you have not watched The Boys, please go watch it. If you have not watched the season, go watch it. If you haven't watched the last episode, man, that last scene, dang, that last scene, crazy. Let me ask y'all a question. So, do you stick with the devil you know or the devil you don't? Because that is where this season takes us. They have such fear of Homelander that they have to find some type of way to stop him. But the only way to stop him, do you stop him utilizing a tool that might be as bad, if not even worse, just for the sake of stopping Homelander, or do you find another method? Because the way that they're going about it could get all the characters killed. I mean, Butcher's experiencing that right now. In order to combat himself against Homelander, he has to go through some drastic measures that damn near put his life at risk. All right. So this leaves him now with the notion of having to make some alternative decisions that are going to come with heavy consequences. You see him knocking out Huey and stopping Huey from doing those same decisions, but hey, Butcher Butcher's going to be facing some tough decisions in the future. Um Overall, I think this was amazing. I think this was wonderful. I'm gonna stop there just because there's nothing else I could say without getting into spoiler territory, and I'm biting my tongue to try not to get into spoiler territory, just because I think this season was so good. Right? I would give this a solid 9 out of 10. Only because on some scenes I think they kind of dragged things out, and some scenes were kind of crazy to me. Right? This whole season overall, 9 out of 10. This last episode, I might give this a 10 out of 10, just for how it concluded. Right? It still left a lot of windows open for continuation, story building, and future seasons, which they got to come up with a season 4, obviously, because they left us on such a cliffhanger that now we could be following up with Homelander just getting fed up of controversial individuals, right? So we'll have to just see where they go from here. But let me know what you guys think. If you've watched it, what do you think? Do you are you still enjoying this show? The reason I gave this a 9 out of 10 was mainly because of Kiko and Frenchie, right? I think their whole relationship thing, their up down, was a little tedious at points, and it was a little um it became wearisome, right? But overall, great season. Overall, great season. I love the parody of today's modern day political environment. And yeah, that's all I got for now. Until the next one, see ya.